Have you ever felt most alone in a crowded room? Surrounded by the rising tide of chatter, yet there's a profound sense of disconnection you can't shake. It's a painful paradox of modern life. We're woven into a global network, theoretically closer than ever, yet we can feel more isolated than ever. We scroll through feeds of curated joy, but a persistent emptiness gnaws at us when the screen goes dark. We are seekers, looking for genuine connection, for a sense of belonging that so often feels just out of reach. But what if that feeling of solitude isn't the enemy? What if the silence isn't a void to be feared, but a sanctuary waiting to be discovered? What if the sensation causing you such pain could be transformed into your greatest source of strength, clarity, and self-possession? This is a timeless truth at the heart of Buddhist wisdom, a tradition that has, for millennia, guided people to transform their relationship with themselves, and in doing so, to transform suffering into profound peace. The journey we are about to begin is not about distracting yourself from loneliness or numbing the ache of isolation. It is about a courageous turning, a pivot toward the heart of your solitude, to discover the strength and growth waiting there. We will explore ancient Buddhist ideas that reframe what it means to be alone, turning it from a source of pain into a powerful tool for self-discovery. If you are ready to stop running from the silence and start listening to what it has to teach you, if you are ready to find strength in the quiet dignity of your own company, then stay with me. This journey inward has the power to change everything. First, we must be honest about the problem. The loneliness you feel is real, a silent epidemic of our time. In our hyper-connected world, we have endless methods of communication, but so little genuine communion. We may have thousands of friends online, yet hesitate to call a single one when we feel lost. Our culture pushes a narrative that to be alone is to be left behind, creating a deep fear of being by ourselves, a frantic need to fill every quiet moment with noise and distraction. This constant attempt to run from ourselves is exhausting. It leaves us feeling scattered, anxious, and paradoxically, more disconnected. We chase happiness in external things, the next notification, the next purchase, believing something out there will finally make us feel whole inside. The Buddhist teacher Pema Chodron notes that we desperately give up believing that being able to escape our loneliness is going to bring any lasting happiness. We try the strategy of escape, and it fails, reliably leaving us right back where we started, alone and in pain. This is where ancient wisdom offers its first gift, a crucial distinction. What we are running from is loneliness. Loneliness is a state of lack. It is a painful feeling of being cut off, a hunger for connection that isn't being fed. But solitude is something else entirely. Solitude is a choice. It is the art of being alone without being lonely. It is not an empty state, but a space full of possibility. Loneliness feels like a prison. Solitude, when consciously embraced, is a liberating sanctuary. Buddhism doesn't teach us to tolerate loneliness. It teaches us to alchemize it, to transform it into a peaceful, joyful, and free state of blissful aloneness. The path from the pain of loneliness to the power of solitude is the one we will now walk together. The first, most courageous step is to stop fighting. Stop running. You must consciously turn and compassionately face the feeling of loneliness. The Buddha's life illustrates this perfectly. As Prince Siddhartha, he had every luxury but felt an unsettling emptiness. He then tried extreme asceticism, punishing his body, but that also failed to bring peace. His enlightenment came only when he discovered the middle way, a path of balance. At that moment, his fellow monks had abandoned him. It was there, in total, profound solitude under the Bodhi tree, that he finally found enlightenment. His strength was forged not in a crowd, but in the deep stillness of being completely alone. To befriend your loneliness is to practice this middle way. It's not about indulging the dramatic stories your mind creates, nor is it about aggressively shoving the feeling away. It is simply about allowing the feeling to be there, without judgment or narrative. Think of it as an anxious guest. Instead of barricading the door, you open it and say, "I see you. You can sit here for a while." You don't have to agree with its stories. You just allow it to be. When loneliness hits, pause. Breathe deeply. Instead of instinctively reaching for your phone, just sit with the raw physical sensation of the feeling. Where is it in your body? A tightness in your chest? An ache in your stomach? Observe it with gentle curiosity. Our modern lives are overwhelmingly loud. The constant chatter of social media, work pressures, and entertainment keeps us from facing our own thoughts. This is why solitude can feel terrifying. But Buddhist wisdom teaches that this quiet space isn't something to fear. It is fertile ground for self-discovery. As the Buddha said, Your work is to discover your world, and then with all your heart give yourself to it. He is speaking of your vast, intricate inner world. Solitude gives you the quiet space to reflect on your life and learn from your experiences. In these moments of stillness, you can finally hear the whispers of your own heart, separate from the opinions of everyone else. You can begin to ask the real questions. What do I truly want? What are my values? What gives me a genuine sense of purpose? Carve out intentional time to reflect. Start with 15 minutes a day. Find a quiet spot and simply be. Try journaling, writing down whatever comes to mind without censorship. Ask yourself gentle questions. When did I feel most alive today? What is the main source of my stress? What am I grateful for? This simple act of turning your attention inward builds a powerful connection with your real self. The answers we seek are not out in the world. They are already inside us, waiting in the quiet. One of the greatest gifts of solitude is cultivating a resilient mind. When our happiness depends on things outside our control, what others think of us, our job, our relationship status, we are living on shaky ground like a house built on sand. Buddhist practice, especially meditation in solitude, is the process of building a new foundation on the bedrock of inner stillness. In solitude, we learn to watch the storm of our thoughts and emotions without getting swept away. We see them come, feel them fully, and see them go. We learn through direct experience that we are not the storm. We are the calm, clear sky behind it. This is the foundation of true resilience. A person at peace in their solitude is unshakable because their self-worth does not rely on external validation. They have built an inner world that is rich and self-sufficient. This becomes their anchor. As the Buddha taught, just as a solid rock is not shaken by the storm, even so the wise are not affected by praise or blame. Commit to a regular meditation practice. Sit quietly for 5 to 10 minutes each day. Bring your gentle attention to the sensation of your breath. When your mind wanders, and it will gently guide it back to your breath. Every time you do this, you perform one repetition of mental resilience. You are training your mind to return to a calm center. This principle may be the most profound, but it holds the key to freedom from loneliness. It is a core teaching called anatat, or non-self. It suggests that the fixed, solid I that we believe ourselves to be doesn't actually exist in the way we think it does. This might sound strange, but it is incredibly liberating. Who is it that feels so lonely? It is the ego, the I. I am lonely. This idea of a separate I creates a wall between you and the world, making you feel cut off. The project of protecting and defending this I is the source of our suffering. The teaching of non-self reveals that our self isn't a solid thing. It is a dynamic, ever-changing process. It's an aggregation of body, feelings, perceptions, and thoughts, all in constant flux. You are far more like a flowing river than a stone statue. Once you grasp this, the architecture of loneliness begins to crumble. If there is no fixed, separate self, then who is there to be lonely? The feeling of separation is revealed as an illusion. In reality, you are intrinsically connected to everything. During your quiet time, simply watch your thoughts. Notice how they arise, linger, and dissolve on their own. Are you these fleeting thoughts? Or are you the silent awareness watching them? Notice the changing sensations in your body. Are you these sensations? By watching this constant flow, you loosen your grip on the idea that you are your thoughts and feelings. You rest in the awareness itself, which is open and vast. Loneliness, which requires a constricted sense of self to survive, begins to dissolve in this open space. In our world, silence is often seen as awkward or empty. We rush to fill it with chatter, music, anything to avoid it. But in Buddhism, silence isn't empty. It is full of answers. It creates the sacred space we need for clarity and peace. This is the principle of viveka, or seclusion of speech. This isn't just about not talking to others. More importantly, it's about quieting the non-stop inner chatter that tyrannizes our minds. Our minds are often a racket of worry, planning, and judgment. Practicing seclusion of speech means intentionally turning down the volume on this inner noise. You can't forcefully stop your thoughts. Instead, you allow the thinking mind to quiet down on its own. In true silence, you can observe this mental chatter without getting tangled in it. You start to see the repetitive narratives that keep you trapped, and by seeing them with clarity, you break free. Schedule periods of silence. Try a digital sunset, turning off all screens an hour before bed. Go for a walk in nature without headphones, paying attention to the sounds around you and the silence within. Try eating one meal in complete silence. At first, it may feel uncomfortable. While the inner journey is what matters most, our external environment has a significant impact on our peace. This is the principle of kaya viveka, or seclusion of the body. It is about intentionally creating a physical space that supports your reflection, a place to retreat from the world's noise. This doesn't mean moving to a monastery. It simply means creating a personal sanctuary in your own home. This space becomes a powerful physical anchor for your practice of solitude. Having a designated place to simply be is an act of self-compassion. It's a statement that your inner peace is a priority. Find a small corner in your home to dedicate to your practice, a specific chair or a cushion on the floor. Keep it simple and free of distractions. Place a candle or a small plant there. Make an agreement that this space is for quiet time only, no phones, no work. Spend a few minutes there each day, even just to sit and breathe. Often, loneliness isn't just about missing people. It's about missing a sense of purpose. Without a clear direction, your mental energy churns inside you, creating restlessness and emptiness. When you find something meaningful to work toward, that energy gets channeled into something constructive and satisfying. Solitude is the perfect incubator for finding your purpose. Without the distracting noise of others' opinions, you can be honest with yourself about what you're passionate about, free from the fear of judgment. The Buddha once said, "If you find no one to support you on the spiritual path, walk alone." This is about having the courage to follow your own path, even if no one else understands. Solitude provides the time and space to build that inner resolve. Think of an archer drawing back a bow. The further the arrow is drawn back into solitude, the more power it accumulates. Use your time in solitude for focused work. What skill have you always wanted to learn? What creative project have you dreamed of starting? Learn an instrument, write a book, start a fitness journey, study a new subject. When you are absorbed in an activity you find meaningful, there is no room for loneliness. The point of finding strength in solitude is not to escape the world, but to return to it more whole, present, and capable of forming deep connections. In Buddhism, solitude is a strategic retreat to gather strength so you can engage with life more wisely and compassionately. After you have cultivated peace within yourself, your relationships change. You no longer interact with people from a place of neediness. You don't require their approval to feel good about yourself. Because you feel complete within, you have something genuine to give. This is where the practices of metta and karuna become vital. They are the direct antidote to loneliness because they actively generate feelings of connection. When you have faced your own suffering in solitude and learned to be kind to yourself, you develop deep empathy for the suffering of others. After your quiet time, consciously turn your attention outward with a simple loving kindness meditation. Silently repeat phrases like, "May I be happy. May I be peaceful." Then extend that wish to others, a loved one, a neutral person, even someone you find difficult. May you be happy. May you be peaceful. Finally, extend it outward to all beings. This practice dissolves the illusion that you are separate and roots you in the truth that we are all connected, turning the strength you found alone into a gift for the world. This journey inward is the most rewarding one you can take. Every moment you choose to spend in quiet contemplation is a step toward a more peaceful, resilient, and authentic self. If these ideas have resonated with you, I encourage you to continue on this path. Subscribe for more guidance on finding strength through timeless wisdom. We started with the painful feeling of being alone in a crowd. We end with the understanding that the deepest connection we can have is the one we cultivate with ourselves. The silence you once feared is a wise teacher. The emptiness you tried to fill is a sanctuary. The Buddha famously said, "No one saves us but ourselves." We ourselves must walk the path. The path to finding strength in solitude is uniquely yours. It is a homecoming, a return to the unshakable peace dwelling inside you all along, a journey of turning the pain of loneliness into an unshakable inner peace. Remember that your time alone is never a sign of failure. It is a sacred space for growth. It is the fertile darkness where the seed of your true self can put down roots and gather the strength it needs to bloom. So the next time you find yourself alone, don't run. Pause, breathe, and listen. You might discover that everything you were searching for out in the world was right there with you the whole time.